Hey, movie lovers, this is Leo.
Mike.
And Kevin from Films and Fermentation.
If you love comedy, movies, and a good drink in hand, then you need to check out the Pod Nation Media Network.
It's home to a variety of amazing podcasts covering everything from pulp culture to history and, of course, movies like ours.
And the best part, Pod Nation Media Network is featured on Roku, so you can stream your favorite podcasts anytime.
Alongside Films and Fermentation, you'll find other fantastic shows like the KJ&A podcast, The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, Real Sharks, and so many more.
So grab a drink, press play, and join the fun with Pod Nation Media Network.
Because everything's better with a little comedy, movies, and booze.
Learn more by going to linktree.com/podnationpods.
Films and fermentation, movies and inebriation. Films and fermentation, comedy mixed with tasty libations. Films and fermentation with Leo, Kevin, and Mike.
Mike gets the high note. Welcome to Films and Fermentation. Tonight we are doing a best horror movie bracket. We promise it's not too fucked up. We weren't messing with it 5 minutes before we started recording. So that's right. We are Films and Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast, number one pop culture podcast on Good Pods, number one beer podcast on Good Pods. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're three friends who like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. Grab your garlic, silver bullets, and emotional support beer. It's time for the Films and Fermentation Best Horror Movie Tournament bracket. This week, your favorite booze-fueled film nerds pit the scariest, bloodiest, and most delightfully ridiculous horror movies against each other to crown the ultimate terror royalty. Expect heated debates, questionable logic, and plenty of puns that'll make you groan louder than a zombie at sunrise. From Psycho to The Thing, no classic is safe from our bracketed madness. Tune in before the podcast mysteriously cuts out mid-sentence. And remember, don't split up, don't look behind you, and definitely don't stop listening. Don't forget to drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation. Find all of your social media and podcast links. Become part of the Films and Fermentation family. We are now part of the Pod Nation Media Network on Roku. Visit the Films and Fermentation Substack to subscribe to our newsletter. We are an independent podcast, which means we are listener supported. So please consider joining our Patreon for as little as $1 a month to receive members only content. That's right. For only $1, we'll cover your eyes during the scary parts. Go to patreon.com/fermentation. What's that?
Except for Kevin, because he's already covering his eyes.
So one of the three of us watches horror films.
I watch some.
But all three of us are voting on horror films tonight. I know we got, as much as I messed with the bracket, Kevin's favorite horror film is still on there.
Yeah.
Midsommar.
That's messed up. It's a messed up one. No, I'll go through. I've seen that one. I've seen like at least half of the ones on here.
As far as he knows, he's looking at the bracket for the first time. So
that's true.
He's only had it for 3 weeks.
That's true. I mean, no, it wasn't around 3 weeks ago, was it?
Yeah. Out to Leo a while ago.
You sent it to me a while ago. Go to patreon.com/filmsandfermentation or buy our shit at teespring.com or text us at 904-867-4466. What are we drinking tonight, gentlemen? Kev, why don't you go first?
Yeah, okay. I'm already 3 deep, gentlemen. I started drinking after work. We had a happy hour at Double Nickel.
Off tomorrow?
No. It was just that kind of day.
Mm-hmm.
And
Tell me about it.
and I went to Double Nickel, which I hadn't been to in a while. Took a look at their menu, and they had some leftover summers, but they had some nice fall beers that I was eager to get. The first which I have had before. It's the Farmstead Flannel, which is an apple cider donut inspired ale. It is 5.9% alcohol by volume. It is brewed with cinnamon, vanilla, and brown sugar. And then following that, I will partake of the hallway. Can you gentlemen see the pattern?
Yes,
On
it is
the,
The Shining.
It is the Shining Hallway. This is a 6.8% alcohol by volume. This is a brown ale brewed with pumpkin spice and Madagascan vanilla bean. And the one that I was hoping to get, the one that really knocked my socks off today, was called Nocturnal, which was a stout. It was delicious in every way. It was a churro. It was churro flavored. It was like a dessert beer. And they had sold out. So
Wow.
here we are.
Here we are. All of it sounds good. I like the design on that can. That's cool.
Wasn't that pretty cool?
Yeah. Mike, what do you got going on?
So I've got my comfort drink. So when I go to comfort, I go to the bourbon smashed orange smash from Devil's Backbone.
There you go. I was going to try to do a mixed drink for the night or something themed. And then at the last minute, I was like, no, I'm too busy fucking up Mike's bracket. I don't have time to make a drink. So I'm just drinking. It's one of the things I had last week, but I decided to just stick with this and not drink the caramel pumpkin ale this week because I was hurting the next day last week. I'm saving my last couple for like a day where I don't have to get up the next day. So tonight I am drinking Troegs Independent Brewing Oktoberfest Lager. Toasty, crisp, and festive. It is 6.1% alcohol by volume, and I have a couple of them. So when I'm done this one, I have a few backups. All right, let's play a song.
This week in film history with Mike. This week in film history with Mike.
In 1932, film Red Dust, directed by Victor Fleming, starring Clark Gable, Jean Harlow, and Mary Astor, premieres.
And I have never heard of this film.
Well, it was the first one I found. It took me like a couple of days. I was like, oh, shit. Near the end of the week, a lot of stuff came in.
Yeah.
1941, Walt Disney's animated film Dumbo is released.
Dumbo, 1941 Dumbo, not a problematic film at all.
There's nothing wrong with those crows because horsefly.
Nothing wrong with them. No.
There's nothing wrong with them crows.
That's why the Disney Dumbo is in the vault with Song of the South.
Yes, they still have the Dumbo ride, unlike they don't have it.
The Song of the South ride, I know. Next one.
1942, Now Voyager, film directed by Irvin Rapper, starring Betty Davis, Paul Henride, and Claude Rains, premieres in New York, wins 3 Academy Awards.
I don't know this film either. Is this one of those lists tonight where I don't know anything? It's an oddity, but
You might know the next one. 1952, Charlie Chaplin's Limelight, starring himself and Claire Bloom, with an appearance by Buster Keaton, appears in New York City. Not released in Los Angeles until 1972, winning Chaplin his only competitive Academy Award for original score.
Took him 20 years to get from New York to LA.
Yeah. Well, he was traveling by the Oregon Trail, apparently.
They were walking.
Oh, speaking of walking. All right, I'll talk about it later. Well, I'll get to that. Just remind me of walking.
Okay.
Go ahead.
1962, The Manchurian Candidate, directed by John Frankenheimer, starring Frank Sinatra and Lawrence Harvey, is released.
I have seen this one. This is an excellent movie.
I've never seen the original. I saw the remake with
it's Denzel, right?
Denzel and
Liev Schreiber.
Liev Schreiber.
Yeah. And isn't Meryl Streep in that one too?
Yeah. She plays the mother.
I haven't seen the remake. I heard it's not bad.
The remake's good.
But if you like the remake, check out the
Check
original.
out the
It's
original?
amazing.
Okay.
The original is so good. And what's her name is in it? What's Murder She Wrote? Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
It's her only Academy Award nomination is for this movie. She plays Lawrence Harvey's mother in the film, but she's only like 7 years older than the actor. It's a good movie. Frank Sinatra is really, really good in it. I know the next one.
I guess the next maybe 4 of the next 5 you've probably seen. 1978 Halloween, directed by John Carpenter, starring Donald Pleasance and Jamie Lee Curtis, in her film debut, is released.
Yes, I have seen Halloween. It's a John Carpenter film. I've seen many John Carpenter films.
Seen all
multiple
John.
times. Yeah, I definitely saw the next one too.
1984, The Terminator, directed by James Cameron, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, and Michael Biehn, is released in the U.S.
All right. I really would have pissed you off if I fucked with your bracket anymore, but I was debating if Terminator should be on the list.
No, I don't think
And I decided that there are certain movies that, although they have some horror elements to it, they are more action, like thriller kind of things.
Yeah.
And so Terminator is like on that list. I didn't put it on there, but you know, honorable mention. Next one.
2012, Skyfall, the 23rd James Bond film, directed by Sam Mendes and starring Daniel Craig and Javier Bardem, premieres in London.
So I have not seen Skyfall.
Really?
No.
That is a good one.
I've heard it's a really good one. I heard Javier Bardem is really good as the villain. The only Daniel Craig one I've seen is the first one, the Casino Royale.
Oh, geez. So
yeah, I have not seen Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, or Spectre. So I'm like really behind on
No
these
Time
movies.
to Die.
I have not seen No Time to Die either, even though I know he dies in it.
I think out of all of them, Skyfall is by far the best out of all the Daniel Craigs.
It's the one that I've heard was probably the best one.
Yeah.
Because the second one's Quantum of Solace, right?
I believe so.
I think that's the second one because that's just a weird title too. Like
I can't see they were any of them were terrible, but I think Skyfall's story by far just beats out any of his others.
I mean, I like Daniel Craig in as Bond. I liked him in Casino Royale. So, speaking of Bond,
in 2015, Spectre, the 24th James Bond film, directed by Sam Mendes and starring Daniel Craig, premieres in London.
This is one I kind of want to see because I know that Christoph Waltz is in it as the villain.
It was a good
time. Yeah. And the last one, sir.
2018, Freddie Mercury biofilm, Bohemian Rhapsody, directed by Bryan Singer, starring Rami Malek.
Rami Malek.
Best Actor Academy Award 2019, premieres in London. You know, that guy from that TV show with the computers and stuff.
The robot, yeah. He was also Amun-Ra in the
Night of the Museum, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Bohemian Rhapsody. I thought he was excellent in it. I don't think he deserved the Oscar.
No?
I know, hot take. But this is the same year that the Elton John biopic came out with Taron Egerton, and I thought that was a better movie, a better performance, and Taron Egerton sang all the songs himself. Rami Malek lip synced the songs.
Well, not many people can sing Freddie Mercury, so
yeah, I understand that. And, you know, he really looked like him, and he got the mannerisms down and all that. But it was such a straightforward like biopic. The Elton John one was a musical. You know, it had like fantasy elements to it, and
I think that's why it didn't get the.
I think so too. I think so too. And it's a shame because I think he had the better performance that year as far as like, you know, there you go. But you know, I'm not
whose performance I really liked in Bohemian Rhapsody. Michael Myers as the.
He did. Yeah,
he did a great job.
He was the record exec that didn't want. So that was kind of like an ironic thing too. Is like they cast him as the record exec. He didn't want to do Bohemian Rhapsody because it was too long. But then they do Bohemian Rhapsody in Wayne's World. So And Wayne's World is kind of like the movie that brought Bohemian Rhapsody back into
Yeah.
the public eye.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. All right, so moving on to our next segment.
Kevin's here, he's here for beer. He's got news, it's beer with Kevin.
So before you even get to this first article, because I know you did a lot of research for this,
I did.
is this the Utopia beer that we got to smell the bottle for?
It is. Mhm.
That's funny because
Wasn't supposed to be.
read the story and then we can tell the story.
Okay. So this is out of Sam Adams Brewery in Boston, Massachusetts. New Sam Adams beer is illegal to buy in 15 states because it's too strong. Boston-based brewer Sam Adams has released a new beer that's so strong it can't be sold in 15 states, including New Hampshire, Massachusetts' neighboring state. Sam Adams calls it Utopia 2025, an extreme beer with a 30% alcohol by volume. Previous versions of Utopia have been between 24 to 28. Typically, a beer has an ABV of about 5%. If you want flavor, then around 7 to 8%. New Hampshire caps alcohol by volume in beers at 14%. Other states where the alcohol content in a Utopia beer exceeds legal limits include Vermont, North Carolina, Georgia, and Oregon. Sam Adams said reaching 30% ABV was a personal goal of founder and CEO Jim Koch. But more important was reaching getting the flavor right for a beverage that blurs the lines between beer and fine spirits. This year's release combines vintages aged up to 30 years, finished in Irish whiskey, Amarone, white port, ruby port, Carcevalos, cognac, and Scotch casks, creating complex layers of caramel, oak, dried fruit, subtle smoke, and citrus, Sam Adams said in a statement. Excuse me. The suggested retail price is $240 for a 24.5 ounce bottle. And it can be found now at specialty liquor stores where it can be legally sold. Sam Adams said a serving of the beer should only be 1 or 2 ounces. Reviews for previous versions of Utopias on the Beer Advocate website are high, though some question whether the price is worth it. The taste is super intense, one reviewer commented, so much going on with a slight burn on the way down. Drinks nicely for the ABV, but no doubt about it, this is a sipper, wrote another person.
Uh-oh.
Oh, somebody's here. Come here. And that's the end of the article. How about that? Okay, well, there you go. 30% ABV.
So I took a guess that it was the Utopia because Kevin and I got a chance to sniff the Utopia when we went to Boston many years ago. We did a tour of the Sam Adams Brewery, and because the ABV and the Utopia is so high, they can't give it to you for a tasting because they were only allowed to give you like so much beer for free, basically, when you do the tastings. But we were allowed to smell one of the bottles, and it was very sweet. Had like a syrupy smell to it. It was $250 a bottle back then because of how high the ABV was and how long they like aged it. And it was, I do remember the girl doing the tour telling us that it was very thick and syrupy, and she would actually put it on her pancakes. At the time, I thought that's interesting, but now when I think back on it, she might have had a problem. I tried that one time. I tried putting like a syrupy alcohol on my pancakes, and all that happened was the pancakes soaked it up, and it was terrible.
Became a rum cake.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what you do. That's what you do with Southern Comfort because it's too sweet for whiskey.
So numbering on your pancakes, you really got a problem.
Well, that's why I like my tiramisu soaked in Kahlua, as opposed to putting in actual coffee.
Yeah. What's the other one you got there, sir?
This one's a little bit closer to home for us, gentlemen. Yingling announces a limited release of a new apple beer.
Is it apple butter beer?
It's not apple butter beer. The latest entry into. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let's add something. Oh, what is going on there? Okay, that's just weird. Then the highlight. DG Yingling and Sons, America's oldest brewery, has announced the release of a brand new apple beer, which is only out for a limited time. The latest entry into its Eagle series, number 13, is an apple beer, a crisp Pilsner-style beer brewed to capture the essence of the season. It opens with bright apple aromas and a refreshing taste, highlighted by a mild apple tartness that adds a touch of autumn character. The balanced hop and malt profile creates a smooth finish to make it an easy, satisfying choice for cool evenings and seasonal celebrations. With its crisp flavor and hint of orchard freshness, Yingling apple beer is the perfect way to toast a fall. The beer will only be available for growlers or pints at their Pottsville tap room. But if the response is great, who knows, maybe they'll make even more. The brewery is having
Shit.
and they're in Pottsville. The brewery is having a pour party on November 20th. So mark your calendars now, gentlemen.
POUR pour, right?
POUR, correct.
Yeah. Not just like
Wait a minute.
if you're
I'm
poor, come up and get some free beer.
That's what I want. Give me some free beer because I'm poor.
I have the pour. Yeah, I have the POO party.
Please, we're so poor. At their Pottsville tap room, and you're invited. Guests can enjoy 10% off Yingling retail merchandise during the event, which only takes place on the 20th of November, and it does not include any beer that's purchased. There will also be a Let's Cook Charcuterie Boards workshop the 20th of November at the Pottsville gift shop. Guests will learn about themed board components, delicious dip recipes, and nutritional balance options. And that's it. No information on the ABV, but if you want it, that's where to go.
Well, I mean, I also said like you could only get it in crowlers right now, anyway. So.
Yeah.
Bless me. All right, I'm not going to play my song for the movie updates because I don't really have a lot to go on. I just remembered when we mentioned the word walking earlier. I just watched the movie. I actually just finished it right before we started recording tonight. A movie I've been wanting to see since it came out, but I wasn't able to get to the theater to see it. But now that it's available on the dark web, I was able to like watch a copy of it. It's a movie called The Long Walk. With it stars Mark Hamill. I don't know if it's age or character choice, but he sounds like he smoked 800 cigarettes in a row in this movie. But it was better than I thought it was going to be. It's a Stephen King story about a competition where these kids, these guys, these boys have to walk nonstop 3 miles an hour minimum until there's only one of them left. So it's kind of like the Hunger Games meets like, Chariots of Fire or something like that. And it was actually better than I thought it was going to be. It actually had like some really funny moments in it, which is not something I expect from a Stephen King like thriller. But I would recommend it. It was a pretty good watch. Didn't really go where I thought it was going to go with it. So Mike, you have a must-try beer craft this for Steve.
I have an international craft destination for you boys. From Abbey to Owl House, Edinburgh's brewing renaissance. Edinburgh's brewing legacy stretches back to the Middle Ages when the Augustines monks of Holyrood Abbey first began crafting ales for spiritual and social sustenance. By the late 19th century, the city had earned its reputation as the brewing capital of Britain, boasting over 40 producers who kept the taps flowing for thirsty locals and far-flung patrons alike. Though the numbers of breweries has since dwindled, the city no longer holds its title as Britain's brewing hub. A spirited craft revival is bubbling up, especially in Leith, the historic port district of Edinburgh's northern shore. Once a gritty maritime zone, Leith has transformed into a vibrant neighborhood where old world charm meets new age fermentation. Edinburgh's brewing scene may no longer dominate the national stage, but its resurgence is rooted in creativity, community, and deep respect for tradition. Whether you're a history buff, a hophead, or a curious traveler, the city's modern breweries offer a flavorful journey through time, one pint at a time.
I was worried that was going to go like a couple weeks ago and turn like a history lesson about like the Crusades or something.
No.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with the main segment tonight.
It's still. Oh, there we go.
Here we go. We got breaking news. Go ahead, Kev.
It is apparently Diarrhea Awareness Week, and it's running through Friday. So make sure that you put on your brown ribbons and
I was going to say the ribbon brown.
and the ribbon's brown.
The ribbon should be brown with like nuts in it.
Tastes a
little
bit
piece of
nutty.
I was going to say not a sponsor for this program, but
Not a sponsor for this episode.
Food Wipes handy.
Tastes a bit nutty.
It's a bit nutsy. It's a brown ribbon with corn in it. So our main segment tonight is a bracket. We haven't done a bracket in a while, so we're doing a best horror movie bracket. Mike put the bracket together for this evening, so he is going to be running it for the most part. I am going to play a real quick 1 minute video to intro this segment. If you're watching us on YouTube, on Roku, or on Rumble, take a look up in the corner. There's a QR code where you can go to our Spotify page and download the podcast for us. Help us get those download numbers up. And if you're listening to us on the audio platform, you can watch us on one of the video platforms to see this little 1 minute clip show that I made for tonight. Remember, kids, the lesson is don't have sex or you get murdered.
Exactly.
Which was put to point expressly in the Scream movies. They dissected the horror movie as to what you could and could not do.
Yes, it was a what the hell was that actor, Jamie Kennedy or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Not Jamie Kennedy. Was it Jamie? Yeah, it was Jamie Kennedy,
it was
right?
Jamie
Who did that whole like monologue about it.
Mhm.
So tonight's bracket is brought to us by Mike. I'll turn it over to him in a second. We have no found footage movies on the bracket. No torture porn, so no Saw or Hostel or like Green Inferno or Human Centipede or any of that nonsense. There are no sequels. We are only looking at original films. And no horror films prior to 1960. So we're talking about like the Universal horror movies like Dracula and all that. We don't feel like they can really be compared to some of the modern horror, and it's not fair to put them in that bracket. So we didn't include those. We do have some honorable mentions that we'll talk about later when we're done with the bracket. But in the meantime, I'm going to turn it over to Mike so he can explain how he put this together for this evening.
All right, so what we have here is a 32 movie bracket broken up into 4 quadrants: slasher, serial killer, supernatural, and possession, monsters and creatures, and psychological and elevated horror.
I really like this. I feel like if we had something like this for some of our prior brackets, they would have been better. Like the Sean Bean death bracket could have had some like categories to it, and
Uh,
Fantasy death, villain death.
the field had its own bracket.
um,
Do you want to go through the films first, Mike?
I could do
Or should we
that.
just-
I was going to say that each bracket has it's like a traditional bracket: 1 versus 8,
Mhm.
3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, and 7 versus 2.
Okay.
Each bracket. You want to go through every movie first, or just go as we go through them?
How should we do this? Should we do this like just go like category at a time? So like start with like slashers and serial killers.
Yeah, do the first. We'll do the first one on each bracket. And
All right,
go
I'm going to bring the bracket up on the main screen here. So if you're watching us on Roku or YouTube, etc., you can see the bracket for yourself. It's up on the screen here. So Mike, go ahead.
Okay, so our first one is number 1, Halloween 1978 versus The Hills Have Eyes from 1977.
Okay. I don't have to explain what I'm picking.
Yeah. Kev, what do you think?
I was going to go with Halloween.
Yeah, I think Halloween's going to be unanimous one on that one.
No, it's not just because I'm a Carpenter fan and a Carpenter purist and all that stuff. I think Halloween is the movie that kind of started the slasher genre.
Mm.
Now, The Hills Have Eyes is a fucked up movie.
Yeah.
Really messed up movie. There was a remake that came out in the early 2000s as well.
Was the remake a Rob Zombie?
I don't think it was a Rob Zombie. I'm not sure.
No, I don't think
None of
know.
his movies are on the list either. So,
Oh yeah, there's no Rob Zombie movies on the list because if I had to watch, I'd rather fuck a bag of razor blades than have to watch House of a Thousand Corpses again.
Again?
Shout out to Jason and Kathy from the All Hallows Eve podcast.
so yeah, that sounds like it's a unanimous. Halloween is moving on to the next line.
It was not Rob Zombie.
It was not Rob Zombie. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that one.
It was Alexander Asia.
I don't know who that is.
But it was written by Wes Craven.
Oh, well, I think he wrote the original one too, so he probably has like a story by credit on the remake.
Mm.
All right, go ahead, Mike.
The next matchup we have is Scream versus the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
One of you guys go first.
I'm gonna say, as much as I like Scream, I still think Scream, that whole series, is like the funniest scary movies I've ever seen. So I'm going with Texas Chainsaw Massacre on this one.
And you see, I feel that Texas Chainsaw Massacre, although is gory and horrifying, there was too much coming out of the
Story. And based on a true story.
And based loosely based off of the true story of Ed Gein. What I think is just oversaturated was the middle of nowhere, a group lost in the middle of nowhere getting killed by a group, as we saw with The Hills Have Eyes and others that played out. So I think Scream was really original, which is what I liked about it, and that's why I'm going to choose that over Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And I should have went first. You guys have just put me in the position I don't want to be in. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It is a classic, cult classic, really. I said Halloween kind of starts the slasher genre, but I mean, like, you could also argue that Chainsaw did that too, because it did come out 3 years earlier than that.
I think Halloween started the Scream Queen era.
Yeah, it's possible. Although there is like a Scream Queen and Chainsaw too. Scream. What I liked about Scream though was, it had some funny moments, but it was still a horror film, and it played on all the horror tropes that made it entertaining. Kind of made it like a refreshing film in 1996 because we hadn't had like a really good horror film in a while at that point. There were a lot of like copycats that came after it, like I Know What You Did Last Summer, But the original Scream was pretty good. So
Mhm.
it hurts me to do this because I really love Chainsaw, but I'm gonna go with Scream. So then that puts Scream into the next round. So go ahead, Mike.
Okay, that means in the next bracket we have from 1980, Friday the 13th versus 1988's Child's Play. Tough one here.
That's
This
a
is
tough one too.
I think this is the toughest bracket out of all of them. Is the slasher serial killers?
I kind of felt that way about the psychological one. But yeah, this is a tough one too.
I feel. I mean, you got two good elements here. You have the invading dreams and nightmares and killing people in the nightmare, which was always a.
No, wrong movie.
Oh, that's right. Not Nightmare on Elm Street. Sorry. Oh, this one was easy for me. I went with Child's Play. I've never been to summer camp. I was not fortunate enough to have relations enough to get myself killed until I was at an age where I could defend myself. But what I do remember is having toys that you would look at night when you fell asleep and wondered if they were going to move around you. And that's why Child's Play is my pick.
You have some weird kids' toys then if you were worried.
You have no idea.
My mom had this thing. It was a doll that stood in the corner and had its like hands on its face, like it was in the corner crying. I don't know why she bought this thing. It was the weirdest thing. But for like years, just in the living room, in the corner with the hands on the face, like it was pretending to cry. And me and my sisters used to make fun of it all the time because it's a creepy girl doll in the corner.
How great would it be? I'm sorry, go ahead, continue.
No, the funny thing is you turn around to look at it and had no face.
How great would it be if your father and mother just brought it over without telling you, without you guys seeing and just putting it somewhere else?
Yeah. Kind of is how it happened. I came home one day and it's like, what the hell's that? I was like, it's so cute, isn't it? It's like a little girl crying in a corner. I'm like, no, it's fucking creepy.
My sister had a Cabbage Patch Kid doll that was automated. It had batteries and whatever. And it required a bottle to be able to feed it and shut it up. And my sister lost the bottle and this thing just wailed forever. They'd be like, please give me something to drink. And my sister's like, I can't give you anything to drink. I lost your bottle.
I told you this weekend, Kev, the Furby story. Mike, have you ever heard my Furby story?
No.
When when the Furbies are like real big, my sister Dana wanted one really bad, and they were expensive. And I found one like cheap on eBay, and I'm like, score, I'm going to buy this for her birthday. She'll love it. The reason it was so cheap on eBay is because it only spoke Spanish. And nobody in my house speaks Spanish. And so this thing would be crying all the time in Spanish. We had no idea what it wanted. And in the middle of the night, the Furby would go, hombre, hombre.
It starts chanting demonic chants in
That's
Spanish.
before you had the language translation apps on your phones.
Yeah, we didn't have that in '96.
El Dimino, el Cantiante.
Right.
Anyway, let's vote here. So Kevin said Child's Play.
Lee, what's your vote?
So I love Child's Play too, but I think it's like, honestly,
No,
I find it
the first
more,
Child's Play.
I find it more comedy than anything else. It's really like, I find it hysterical, but if we're going with something that's like horror, I'm going with Friday the 13th.
And on this one, it's tough, but just because it goes to the trope, I'm going with Friday the 13th.
All right, so that makes it to the next round. Go ahead, Mike. This is a hard one.
Yes, this one is number 7 Psycho versus number 2 Nightmare on Elm Street. You know where I'm going.
I know you're going Nightmare because it's your favorite horror.
Nightmare. It's my favorite series. The first 3 are like great.
I know we didn't put sequels on here at all, man. But if I could have had a horror sequel on there, I would have had Dream Warriors. Mm-hmm. I love Dream Warriors. It's a fucking tough one, man. As I love Psycho, I love Hitchcock. But to me, Psycho is more like a suspense thriller with like a cool twist ending. Like if I'm looking at like pure horror film,
Well,
I'm
you
gonna
gotta
have.
remember this bracket is serial killer, so he would be considered a
Yeah,
serial.
I know. But I'm like if I'm going more like pure horror, I'm going Nightmare on Elm Street. I feel like Psycho is more like a crime thriller.
Yeah.
And do we know, was Norman Bates a serial killer? I mean, we only know that he killed the one woman. We know that he kept his mother's corpse around, but is there any backstory? Did he kill others?
I would assume it's implied.
Yeah, I think it's
Mhm.
implied that he would like kill people who came to the hotel. I mean, the later films make him out to be a serial killer, but the
Mm.
first film's kind of like ambiguous.
It's yeah.
Yeah. So
And
Mike and
there's
I
some
both want neighbors. So
well, there's something to be said about, invading nightmares and dreams and having the kind of creative ways of scaring people that way. So
Mhm.
I would also go with Nightmare on Elm Street.
yeah, I think Nightmare on Elm Street is a classic by like 80 standards of horror film.
Mhm.
Okay, so what bracket should we do next, Mike?
Let's do monsters and creatures. Let's go to the other side.
All right, monsters and creatures.
So we're gonna go with number 1, Alien versus number 8, Tremors.
Alien.
No love for Kevin Bacon, man.
I love Kevin Bacon. Tremors is more comedy than it is scary. I mean,
It is. It's I want to make this harder than it is.
they're little Audrey 2s that
I would
just
say-
are in the desert,
Say- A number 1 versus a number 8. It should be easy. This
Yeah, I want to make it harder than it is because I love Tremors, but yeah, it's Alien, man.
is Alien all the way.
We just did a whole episode on it. So,
All right,
yeah,
so we're gonna
Alien.
go number 3, The Thing versus number, what was it, 6? A Quiet Place.
I think you know where I'm going.
Yeah, I think I know where you're going. Kev, what do you think?
I'm going with A Quiet Place because I like the idea of the movie is it's silent for a reason, and to try to maintain that silence while things that are listening can kill you is just a very interesting premise, and to top it off, you have the girl that's deaf, so you know. But yeah, I'm gonna go with A Quiet Place.
It broke my heart, Fredo.
I know it is, and I love the thing. If they only had one person who could speak Swedish, they would have known in the very beginning of the
Yeah,
movie.
right.
Just shoot the damn dog.
It's the only
But,
time you ever want them to kill the pet in the film. So, okay, Mike, what are you going with?
I understand where Kevin's coming from, but this is monsters and creatures, and I think the creature, the Thing, is a scarier creature. So I'm going with the Thing.
I mean, and I'm going with the
I
same.
don't know if I agree. I mean, just the monsters, which I don't think you see until the very end in A Quiet Place, are fast and terrifying. It's like the running zombies as opposed to the slow moving zombies.
But I think that's what makes the Thing's monster so creepy is that you don't know
And I think that's
where
a
it
good
is
point to
because it
say.
looks like
You
everybody
don't-
else.
Right. You don't know who is the Thing or who is the monster in that one, which I think goes a long way for a push for the Thing. I'm going to stick with A Quiet Place, but I mean that would be the element of the Thing that makes it stand out.
Okay.
So the Thing moves on. We're going to head to the next one, which is 3 versus 4. Night of the Living Dead versus Hellraiser. Leo,
I
think
just
know-
made this hard for myself.
I know you did.
So I changed the bracket before we started recording to add a couple movies that I thought needed to be on the bracket. These were
And-
two of the movies that I
Yes.
chose, not realizing I put them up against each other. I love Night of the Living Dead because zombie films are like my favorite genre of horror film. I love zombie movies. But Hellraiser is by far my favorite horror film of all time. So I mean, I obviously have to go with Hellraiser because it's my favorite horror film of all time. But it hurts my heart to not have to be able to vote on Night of the Living Dead.
Well, I'll give you the vote for the Night of the Living Dead. I like zombie movies.
I do too. I love zombie movies.
At least Kevin with the tying vote.
I
The break.
think I have to go with which one scared me more when they came out, and I know Night of the Living Dead came out a while back, but they weren't the zombies that that I know of today that are the ones that I'm that are more
Mm.
terrifying. But Hellraiser, Pinhead, and all the other fun members of the gang are truly, terrifying. So
All right. So Hellraiser moves on.
And then we go with our final bracket. The number 7, The Fly, versus number 2, Jaws.
Jaws. We just did a whole 50th anniversary episode on it.
Yeah, but I
they
think
finds
for-
waves.
for the horror aspect, I'm going to go with The Fly.
Your scientists were so busy trying to figure out what they could. They didn't bother to think, should they?
Yeah, but he's the one who didn't bother to think whether he should in the film.
And who is the love interest? Gina Davis?
Mhm.
Okay, so if Jeff Goldblum ended up trapped in a spider web while a spider was coming down and he's going, no, save me. That would have pushed the Fly in favor of me in favor of the Fly. I think I'm going to have to go with Jaws. It kept people out of the water.
Listen, I just rewatched. I didn't rewatch the original Fly, but I watched that scene on
Yeah.
YouTube where they find the fly with the human head going, "Help me!"
Mhm.
Fucking creepy, man. That
Yeah.
shit is so creepy.
Yeah.
For terrible early '50s special effects, it's so creepy.
Yeah, whereas Jaws kept people out of the water, the Fly
Yeah.
kept people away from the coleslaw.
I have to say that I didn't want to teleport after I saw the Fly.
All right. So
All
we're
right,
going
so
to
where
move
we going
on
next?
to my next favorite type of bracket, supernatural possession.
All right.
We're going to start with number 1, The Exorcist, versus number 8, The Barbarian.
Exorcist.
So I put Barbarian on here. It's a newer film. I know I'm the only one of the three of us who saw it. It's a really good movie with a really cool twist ending and kind of like a new take on the horror film. I know it's not going to go to the next round.
Yeah.
So I don't care about that. I just felt like it needed to be in the brackets because I'm going with The Exorcist too because
Oh, God. The
I have to
Exorcist.
go with The Exorcist.
The Exorcist. Come on.
Like, how can you not go with The Exorcist? It's a movie that had like redefined horror for a generation. I just felt like I just want a Barbarian to get some kind of like representation.
What do you think, Kev?
Oh, I said
He said
Exorcist.
Exorcist, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I must have missed that.
So
Okay,
that's
Exorcist
that's
is pretty
unanimous.
sweet. Yep. So we're going to the next bracket, which is The Conjuring versus Event Horizon. I haven't seen Event Horizon.
Have you seen The Conjuring?
I have seen The Conjuring.
Okay.
I had to turn off Event Horizon. I thought it was going to be a fun sci-fi movie. It was not fun. It was sci-fi. It was not fun.
It is if Alien is a haunted house in space,
Yeah.
Event Horizon is a haunted house in space that took steroids.
And I could get through The Conjuring. I could not get through Event Horizon. Thus, my vote is for Event Horizon.
My vote is for. So I like The Conjuring. I thought it was a good movie. I put Event Horizon on here because if Hellraiser is my favorite horror film of all time, Event Horizon is like number 2. I love Event Horizon. Mike, I recommend checking it out. It's a good sci-fi film, but it also is a really good horror film as well.
Okay.
So
This
that
is
moves it on. It's not going to get to the next round anyway, but that's okay.
The killers and slashers, the slashers and serial killers and the supernatural possessions are more my type of horrors. So we're going to move on.
Event Horizon falls into the category because it's about a possessed ship.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool.
The next ones we have is Poltergeist versus Carrie.
Oh, that's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
God, God damn, that's a tough one.
I'm going to go with Poltergeist.
I think I'm going to follow you because Carrie, for as creepy as it is, really it has that one horrific scene, whereas Poltergeist it starts and it builds and it gets creepier and creepier and creepier. And I think the thing that freaked me out was the guy in the bathroom peeling away his face, and that fucked me
Yes.
up.
I also said, like, I love Carrie, and it has one of the best jump scares in
Mhm.
film history. At the very end, where she's like having a dream about going to the grave, and the hand comes up from the grave.
Mhm.
Great jump scare. But yeah, I think Poltergeist is like pound for pound a creepier movie because it's creepy from like beginning to end.
Yes.
You moved the headstones. You didn't move the bodies.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, it has that whole thing about them swimming in a pool with actual dead bodies,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing about it.
And the last one on this list is The Evil Dead versus Hereditary. Any comments from the peanut gallery from these ones?
I take you haven't seen these.
I've seen Evil Dead. I haven't seen Hereditary.
I've seen Evil Dead. I've heard about Hereditary.
I've seen them both.
Okay. Tell us about Hereditary then.
Hereditary is a really fucked up movie. It's definitely a movie about possession, about like demon worshiping, and the movie begins with the decapitation of a child,
Oh,
And it goes downhill from there.
and it just gets worse from there. So I mean, like, it's a brutal film. Evil Dead, though, I feel is more. It's kind of a comedy as well as a horror film, but it's also a horror film that like kind of birthed the whole franchise of horror films. It's Sam Raimi. It's what's his name, Bruce Campbell, who's a freaking icon of horror. So I'm gonna go Evil Dead.
Give me some sugar, baby.
yeah. I'm gonna go with
That
Evil Dead.
was Army of
That's
Darkness, the third film.
That's an upset right there because Hereditary was at number 2.
Well, I also changed what was originally there, so that kind of like, fucked it a little bit, but
All right, so let's go to our last bracket, which is psychological and elevated horror. And the number 1 spot is Get Out versus the number 8 spot, The Witch.
Get Out's a good movie. It is a horror film.
Mm-hmm.
It's psychological, but I don't feel like it's as outright scary as like The Witch is. The Witch has like some creepy jump scare moments. It's a little more atmospheric. I'm not knocking Get Out. Get Out is one of the best movies I've seen in the last 10 years. But I think I'm going to go with The Witch.
I don't know much about The Witch. I know somewhat about Get Out, so I'm going to go with one I know. I'm going to go with Get Out.
Okay.
I watched both. They both creep me the hell out. I'm never a big fan of being able to see people's brains. But
that's why Hannibal's not on this list.
dude. Sick. No, I'm gonna have to go with The Witch as well. Black Phillip and the whole 9 yards.
The Vivitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's Robert Eggers is a screwed up filmmaker anyway. All right.
Our next one is Midsummer versus Silence of the Lambs.
I know Kevin's going Midsummer because that's his favorite film.
Oh, you know it. Flying Eagle and the guy in the bear suit.
I'm gonna go with. You must put cream on the skin.
Put the lotion on its skin, or else it gets lotion.
I'm going with Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, I'm going with Silence of the Lambs. Jesus.
Psychologically, just fucks you up the whole time.
No, Kev, are you actually going Midsummer or are you going Silence?
No, I'd go with Silence.
He created silence on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. In the next bracket, we have The Shining versus Black Swan.
I know which way this is going to go, but I have to vote opposite of you two. So Black Swan, because of how tortured Natalie Portman's character gets between her mother and Mila Kunis, and just how creepy it is, especially when she does the transformation. She looks fucking crazy.
Wait a
be
minute, you're
honest,
drinking a Shining beer and you're not going to go with the Shining?
I know.
Bastard.
I figured it was going to Black Swan was going to lose anyway. I threw my hat in for it.
I've only saw Black Swan once, and honestly, all I remember is the sex scene with Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis.
Naturally.
I'm gonna have to go with The Shining.
I'm going to go with the Shining. Here's Johnny.
Yeah, Shining is a creepy shit movie too. Shining's got murder and furries.
And freaky twin girls in the hallway.
Yeah.
And our last one in the first round is Jacob's Ladder versus Rosemary's Baby.
Man. I just realized another film that could have gone on this list, but I'm just going to put it under honorable mentions.
If we're going to go with psychological, I'm
going to go with Rosemary's Baby. She's gaslit the entire movie.
I thought you were going to go with Jacob's Ladder. You did it on Films of Time Forgot.
No. Go with Rosemary's Baby. I didn't talk about Rosemary's Baby.
Okay.
She's gaslit the entire time. She's
Isn't that
like,
terrific
no.
to you? It's not the fact that she gave birth to the Antichrist.
I mean, that's a downside. Okay.
That's a bummer, but she was gaslit. Fuck that shit.
She had old neighbor creepers.
He's got his father's eyes. Mike, what did you say?
I said Rosemary's Baby.
All right, I'm going to give Jacob Ladder a vote because I think it's a really creepy movie. But I'm not going to argue that Rosemary doesn't deserve to go next either. So,
All right. We made it to our Sweet 16. So we'll start back up in the slasher serial killers with Halloween versus Scream.
Halloween.
Halloween.
I think you're gonna know I'm gonna vote on a couple of these. So
here's gonna be probably one of the toughest in the brackets. Friday the 13th versus Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare.
Oh wow! I didn't even realize that's where that landed.
I knew that was coming.
Wow.
Freddy versus Jason.
Freddy versus Jason. They had a whole movie about this.
I did.
I'm going Freddy. Nightmare.
I'm going Nightmare myself, which means it's going to be Michael versus Freddy later on.
Wow. Nightmare goes next. Okay.
Okay. Let's move on back to the Monsters and Creatures bracket.
Everything about the second round hurts my heart.
I know it does. It does. So the first one's going to be Alien versus The Thing.
Can you guys vote first so I don't have to break my heart?
Alien.
All right, good. Now I could give The Thing a vote even though it's not going to win. All right.
And then we're going to go Hellraiser versus Jaws.
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
I mean, I love Jaws. I just don't think it's as scary as Hellraiser.
Mm-hmm.
No. All right.
All right, we'll move on to Supernatural and Possessions. We got The Exorcist versus Event Horizon.
Exorcist.
What?
I know Exorcist is going to win, so I'll give Event Horizon one vote.
Yeah, it's going to be Exorcist.
I'm just giving votes to things I like now because I know they're going to lose.
All right. We're going to go Poltergeist versus Evil Dead. Lee?
That's a tough one too, but I think as much as I love Evil Dead, it's a little bit more comedy than horror, so I'm going to go Poltergeist.
Poltergeist
as well, yes.
All right, that's a clean sweep.
All right, so let's go with the psychological and event horror. We got The Witch versus Silence of the Lamb.
I'm going with The Lotion.
I'm going to go with The Witch. I know I'm going to lose it, but The Witch. Got to give Anna Taylor-Joy, whatever Anna Joy Taylor
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yes, that's what I said.
It's another movie we could have put on here, man, was The Menu. I don't know if you consider that horror, but that's a pretty scary movie. Go ahead, Mike.
And the last one for this round would be The Shining versus Rosemary's Baby.
Shining.
Shining.
Yeah. All right. Now we're really going to get difficult.
Yes. All right. We're going to go back to slashers and serial killers, which is Michael Myers versus Freddy. Halloween versus Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'm going Halloween.
I'm
Going Nightmare.
Oh, upset. Number 2 beat number 1.
You're going Nightmare?
Yeah, I'm going Nightmare, of course.
Yeah, I'm outnumbered on my favorite films.
We're going to go Alien versus Hellraiser.
Alien.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, you suck. All right, Hellraiser is my favorite horror film of all time, but I will admit it's not as high quality a horror film as Alien, so I'll give it to Alien.
Yep.
Mike, I'm assuming you go Alien as well, right?
I was debating there for a while. It was
Yeah.
Supernatural versus Possession. Exorcist versus Poltergeist. God damn.
I think I take the religious road over just the spiritual road, so I'm going to go Exorcist. Especially when you consider what they had Blair,
Linda Blair,
the girl Linda Blair, doing. You know,
I mean,
to get
Poltergeist
that
says
poor
that whole
girl
like,
to spin her head all the way around.
yeah, Poltergeist and vomit pea soup.
Super.
Poltergeist has that whole like curse of the film thing going for it too. Though. Go on,
my
Mike.
vote. We'll go with my one because of the two, Exorcist scares me more, so I'm going with Exorcist.
All right. I was going to say it's a clean sweep. Then I was going to say Exorcist because I feel like we wouldn't have Poltergeist without Exorcist. I don't know why, but I feel like that's just kind of like the natural progression of how those movies come to exist.
Okay, here's another tough one. Here, Silence of the Lamb versus The Shining. I'm going Silence of the Lamb.
I'm going Silence.
I got to go Silence.
Yeah. I mean, I think Shining is more a pure horror film than Silence of the Lambs, but Silence
Yeah,
of
but
the Lambs is a
cannibalism tops so much.
it's a scarier film to me because it's like steeped in something kind of real.
Because it's it's not only got her dealing with the psychological things with Hannibal, but you also got the killer she's trying to catch.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bill.
And an older FBI director who's trying to fuck her.
Yeah. All right. We're on our final four.
Jesus.
This is ugly.
Yeah.
We've got Nightmare versus Exorcist. Probably my two favorite horror movies against each other right there.
I think it's going to be Exorcist for me.
I'm thinking like Nightmare I feel is like a much more rewatchable film. But I feel like Exorcist is like existentially scarier.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you guys on that one. Exorcist for me would be the scarier, even though how much I love Nightmare.
Yeah, I think Exorcist. So that gets it to the finals.
Yes.
All right.
And then we got Alien versus Silence of the Lamb. Psychological versus monsters.
I'm going to go Alien.
Yeah, listen, I love Silence of the Lambs. Like it's one of my all-time favorite films. But I think for pure horror, in terms of like jump scares and creature design and all that stuff, I'm going to go Alien.
Which brings us to the finals.
Alien versus
Exorcist.
That's interesting.
Now, if you want to look at this in the way the brackets went, Nightmare was a number 2, Exorcist was a number 1, Alien was a number 1, and Silence came out of nowhere. So we have two number ones versus each other at the end of the championship. Where do we go from here, boys?
Can't we just put the two together where Ripley's going up to the alien saying, "The power of Nostromo compels you"?
Out of these two, I'm going to go with Exorcist because I think Alien's more sci-fi than horror. Where
It's Linda Blair versus the alien. She's like staring at the alien. Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
yeah, I think Exorcist of all these movies scare me more than anything. I still love watching it.
Yeah,
Your mother's in here with us.
like Alien.
Which I love to watch too.
I love Alien. It doesn't scare me. I mean, I think it's part of it that I've seen it so many times.
And
but-
once you get over the jump scare or the shock of what the alien looks like,
Mhm.
the scariness kind of goes away.
It's kind of been like saturated too because there's so many sequels and spin-offs and stuff. Like Kevin said in the previous round, like something about The Exorcist being like a religious horror,
Mm-hmm.
like
Right.
kind of like elevates it a little bit. So I think I'm gonna go with Exorcist as well.
Kev, did you say Exorcist?
I did.
Okay.
All right,
That
so
is
that
our
means, would you say, Mike?
That is our winner.
Yeah, that's our winner. The Exorcist
Exorcist is our winner.
wins our bracket for best horror film.
I can't complain any which way on how these brackets went.
No,
I mean, this was tough.
even with all the fucking around I did with it.
It came out to be really tough near the end, especially the Sweet 16 and the Final Four and the
Yeah.
finals. I think
So we said there were no found footage, torture porn sequels, or prior to 1960 horror on there. There were a few films on the original bracket that Mike created that I took off and replaced with some other things. So I put them down as honorable mentions. It's kind of like films that almost made it but didn't quite. So Insidious is on there, which I think is kind of part of the Conjuring universe anyway. Cloverfield, which is a found footage like creature feature. I don't like that movie.
Is it because of the shakiness of the camera and
Yeah, that's
making
part
you
of
feel
it.
sick?
It's part of it, but it just I don't know. I couldn't get into that movie as much as I was hoping to get into it. I have The Cabin in the Woods on here. I will forever defend this movie. It came out in 2012. It is one of Chris Hemsworth's first films. It's another movie that plays on horror movie tropes, like makes fun of all the horror movie tropes, kind of like Scream does. It's a really good movie. The Fog, which is a John Carpenter horror film. The Birds, which is a Hitchcock horror film. Shaun of the Dead, which is a comedy, but also is one of the best zombie films I've ever seen. It 2017, which I don't feel is as good as the original, but we didn't put the original on here because it was a TV movie. The Babadook, very creepy film. The Ring, The Grudge, which are both remakes of better Japanese films. I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is a product of the Scream popularity, I think.
Mhm.
We have Dracula and Frankenstein, both made by, you have Coppola's Dracula and Kenneth Branagh's Frankenstein, which are both remakes of the older Universal horror films. The Black Phone, which came out a couple of years ago, stars Ethan Hawke. It's a really creepy movie. What's that?
Oh shit, The Omen.
I know that's one of the ones I was thinking about as we were doing it. We didn't have The Omen on there. Omen's a really creepy movie. I don't think it would have won.
No, but it could have gone
but
to like,
it would have been in the possession bracket, and it would have been a tough one.
yeah, that was already a tough bracket. That would have probably taken over The Evil Dead.
Yeah. And then the last one I have on here is an awful film, but I love it for some reason. 13 Ghosts.
Or what about Insidious? Was that one of those series? That wasn't a series one.
So that's in the honorable mentions. I'm not sure if it's part of the Conjuring universe,
Oh,
but
right.
it stars Patrick Wilson, who's in both the Conjuring
Right.
and
That's why I
Insidious,
guess I get associated the two.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's part of it or not. I don't know, but it was originally on the bracket, and I removed it in place of Carrie. So I think I was justified doing that. Mike, thank you for putting that together, man. That was a really cool bracket, and I think next time we do a bracket, we need to like organize it kind of that way. I think it worked out better that way.
Yeah, I think so.
You have a beer history for us tonight?
I
Does
do.
he? Oh my God, does he? Jesus.
Well, this one gets into whole history of like the Egyptians and how they used the Nile and piss to
Actually,
make
no.
beer.
This has nothing about the Egyptians. This is
Make
on-
yourself comfortable, folks.
Yes.
Sit back, take your shoes off. You know.
All right. On January 24th, 1935, a quiet revolution popped its tops in Richmond, Virginia. The Gottfried Kruger Brewing Company, in partnership with American Can Company, delivered 2,000 cans of Kruger's fine beer and Kruger's cream ale to local drinkers. The response was a astounding 91% gave their approval. With that, the age of canned beer was born. The American Can Company first attempted in 1909, fizzled, stymied by the carbonation and chemical reaction with tin. It wasn't until the end of Prohibition and 2 years of intense research that a breakthrough emerged: a pressurized can with a protective lining that preserves the beer integrity. Krager's leap of faith paid off. Within 3 months, over 80% of distributors carried its can offerings, and the company began to chip away at the dominance of the brewing giants like Anheuser-Busch, Pabst, and Schlitz. By the end of 1935, more than 200 million beer cans had been sold. The appeal was practical and immediate. Cans required no deposit, stacked easily, chilled quickly, and resisted breakage. Their popularity surged throughout the 1930s and exploded during World War II, when the millions of cans were shipped to American troops overseas. After war, national brewers harnessed the power of can distribution to consolidate their reach, outpacing local breweries that couldn't match the scale of or efficiency. Today, canned beers account for roughly 60% of the 45 billion U.S. beer market. But the story doesn't end with a mass production. Microbreweries and premium beer makers have embraced the format, recognizing that cans protect against light and oxidation, preserving flavor and freshness. What began as a technological gamble has become a symbol of both industrial industrial ingenuity and artisanal revival.
I drank 2 cans tonight.
I drank one big can, which trumps your 2 cans.
How was so let's talk about our drinks before we do the cinema quote. How was your shining drink?
I didn't drink it.
Oh
I
no.
didn't drink it. No, I was full, man. I finished the one, and we only had about 15 minutes left of the show, and I was like, if I crack this open, you guys know I will never waste a beer, so I'd have to nurse this for a while, and I'm just not willing to
Plus you were pre-gaming.
put it through that. Yeah, and I
Plus,
pre-gamed
at
for
9
quite a
o'clock,
while,
you
so
must have nursed the beer.
yeah. Yep. So I
And,
didn't have that one. I did have the Farmstead flannel, which was the apple cider donut beer. That was delicious.
Sounds pretty good. I like apple cider donuts. So I had 2 Trogs Oktoberfest lagers. I had those last week as well. They're very good. I feel good. How you doing, Mike? What did you drink? You said
Hey,
you had
I had my bourbon orange smash. You can never go wrong with bourbon and orange smash.
yeah. All right. We have a cinema quote of the week.
Yes, we do. Oh, that's me.
Yeah, too.
I write it. You read it.
I like how he said, "Oh, yes, we do." Oh, that's me.
Over the years, I've been subjected to many indignities, all for the sake of art. If I ever catch him, I'm going to kill the guy. Bob Hope.
All right. Nothing to say. I have nothing to say about that. Thank you for joining us tonight for episode 214, the horror movie bracket tournament. Again, our winner of the all-time best horror film was The Exorcist. As Beetlejuice once said, I saw The Exorcist 648 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Not to mention the fact you're talking to a dead guy. So we hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Don't forget, you can drop us an email at filmsoffermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsoffermentation. To find all of our social media podcast links, you can watch us on Roku, on the Pod Nation Media Network, on YouTube, on Rumble. Join our Substack newsletter or join us on Patreon. And if you're watching this, you can scan the QR code up on the top of the screen in order to download the episode on Spotify. Don't forget to stop between the crossroads between Pickled and Fermented next time around for episode 215. Our next episode will be dropping in the beginning of November. So we're going to be doing a Veterans Day episode in honor of Veterans Day in November next time around. In the meantime, I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
This has been the Films and Fermentation podcast. Happy Halloween and cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
All right.